Welcome to the live. It is Monday night. It's not really late, but it used to be called the late night chat with the womb therapist because I used to go live at 9 p.m. We moved it up to 7:30. That just works better for my schedule. And here we are. So tonight we are talking about breast cancer. Okay, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I wanted to share some things around breast cancer. And so that's what we'll be talking about tonight. Thank you for those of you who are joining the live. As you all come in the room, if you will, please let me know that you're here by hashtagging live so that I can know that you're here. And if you don't mind, you can add your city and state that you are tuning in from. This is a very sensitive topic, but one that needs to be spoken on because the allopathic community continues to do things that hamper the lives of those that we love out of greed, to be quite honest. And so I'm just inviting a few people to the live, and then I will jump on and get started in just a minute. All right, I think we're good. So do me a favor and share this live. It looks a little crooked. Okay, so yeah, do me a favor and share this live. Hello, Anissa. Hello, Charmaine, if you're still here. Hello, Mercy. You caught me live. Hello, Kim. Kim, you gotta let me know how those jewel pads worked for you. I hadn't heard back from you. Tamika, thanks for tuning in. So I really, this is a tough one, y'all, because I know a lot of people have lost loved ones to breast cancer. So when we hear the truth about what the allopathic community is doing, sometimes it's hard to hear that when we've lost someone to this very thing. All right. Hey, Tamika, welcome to the live. Hey, Tanya, welcome to the live. So make sure you share this. Okay. Go ahead and hit the button at the bottom, share on the left. You can tag people individually, or you can share it to your page by tapping right post and just say, the womb therapist is talking breast cancer, tune in. Because you all know that I address things from both the emotional perspective as well as the physical perspective. And I'm just gonna shed some light on breast cancer and the things that are going on around it. So hello, Daphne. Thank you for tuning in. Anissa is tuning in from Worcester. Mercy is tuning in from Jersey. So welcome, welcome, welcome to the live. I'm going to jump right in. All right. So thank you in advance for scribing, because I know Anissa's probably going to be typing away. So this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is a good thing. You're not going to really hear me talk about Susan G. Komen. I'm not down with her mission. She's dead and gone and still collecting lots of money. People on her roster still collects a nice salary. All right. And there is a cure. Let's be clear. When we understand the things that are going on in the body from a root issue, you guys always hear me say it. Anything created can be reversed. Right. So that's what we're going to talk about. How you can reverse breast cancer. But you have to pick a side, okay? Because a lot of people get so afraid when they hear the word cancer, they automatically think of death. They don't think about damaged cells. They don't think about the high levels of acidosis in their body. They don't think about how their kidneys are not filtering and how their adrenals are not functioning optimally to do the things that they are meant to do. We don't think about cancer in that way. All right, so that's what we're going to shed some light on tonight. So let's first address the emotional perspective and get that out of the way. So the breast, from an emotional perspective, right, represents mothering and nurturing and nourishment. That's what our breasts represent. Welcome to the live, Shanette. All right, so we take in and we give out nourishment in perfect balance. That's what we have to strive to do, women, in perfect balance, because it's usually one is like them Libra scales, okay? One is way up here, one is like, it's not balanced. And balance, I like to call it harmony, is hard to obtain because we can't always give things equal parts, but we need to strive to do so. So in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we're going to be shedding light on that. So breasts represent mothering and nurturing and nourishment, all right? So when we have breast problems, cysts, lumps, soreness, okay? Also known as mastitis, anything ending in itis just means inflammation. So inflammation of the breast. From an emotional perspective, I want you to hear me. From an emotional perspective, it's a refusal to nourish the self. A refusal to nourish the self. We are putting everyone else first. I ain't gonna ask y'all to raise y'all hands in the comments, but how many of us do that? Ladies, women, mothers, all right? It's over mothering, over protection. That's a control issue. Overbearing attitudes, okay, when it comes to your children, usually. And I'm gonna share a quick story with you. I had a friend of mine who came to see me for a steaming. I don't know her that well. I do consider her a friend, but I don't know her that well to understand everything that was going on in her immediate family circle. So when she came to me, she did have a lump in her breast, the size of about a pea, right? And she was concerned about it. And she had a doctor's appointment, I believe, scheduled for the next day, but she wanted to see me prior to that because she wanted to hear my perspective on what it was that I thought that she should do to kind of work around, you know, getting all these tests ran and seeing if the lump was benign or malignant, and just the whole nine, right? So literally, we have our session, and she's processing through her stuff, and she's talking out loud, and we go over the emotional perspective, okay? A refusal to nourish yourself. You're putting everyone else first. You're over-mothering. You're over-protecting. Is that what you're doing? I am doing that. I'm doing that with my daughter who just left for school and blah, 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 blah. And I'm into, you know, and really just being so overprotective when it was coming to her two children, right? So we have the session. We wrap up. She gets in the car. And she calls me not even 10 minutes down the road. And I'm like, did you leave something? What happened? And she's like, Nicole, you are not going to believe. She felt a sensation and she went to touch her breast. And that lump that was the size of a pea, right after her vaginal steam had finished, she said she could not feel it anymore. All right. So I want you to understand the power of vaginal steaming. My method, okay, the healing method, to use it as a tool of detox. Not for you to be sitting over a pot, drinking mimosas, hanging with your girlfriends, kikiing and ha-haing. That's not what my services are about. My vaginal steaming services are very spiritual, they're very sacred, and they're very healing, okay? So we're addressing emotional baggage. We're talking about what we need to release, what we can do differently, et cetera, et cetera. So that's just one story. So she ended up not having to go to the doctor, not having to get any tests ran, none of that, because literally within 10 minutes of her session being over, her getting in her car, her feeling a sensation, she touching it, gone. Just like that. So, mothers, I need you to know you are important, okay? You count, women in general, whether you're mothering your own children or you're mothering someone else's. I now care for and nourish myself with love and joy. You have to give yourself that self-love, okay? I allow others the freedom to be who they are. Allow people to be who they are. Stop being overbearing. Stop being overprotective. Stop over-mothering your children. Allow them some freedom. Because when you don't do that, those are the children that are going to be like the dogs that are always locked in the cage. When they open that door wide open, they taking off. Okay? I've seen it with people that I grew up with that couldn't have sleepovers, that couldn't come to sleepovers, that couldn't do. Those people were kind of wild once they got in their first year of college because they didn't get a chance to do it prior to that. So in addition to detoxing the body, we have to detox the emotions. But we all have to allow others the freedom to be who they are. Why? Because we are all safe and free. All right. So that's breast problems. I now want to go to cancer. So from an emotional perspective, so as from the physical perspective, all cancer is damaged cells. We have trillions of them. So when you're dealing with breast cancer, you have damaged cells in your breast. We're going to talk about where that comes from. Cancer, from an emotional perspective, is deep hurt. Deep hurt, guys. You have to understand that people are holding on to things from 15, 20, 30, 45, 50 years ago. Deep hurts. Long-standing resentment. Okay? Because we're refusing to release people. We're giving them power over us, and most of them don't even know that they have that kind of power over us. All right? Deep secret or grief eating away at the self. Carrying hatreds. Okay? Having the thought process of what's the use? All right? Not seeing a different way. We have to release that. We have to release the deep hurts. We have to release the resentment, those long-standing resentments. We have to come clean and release the deep secrets. They cause cancer. You are harboring that energy, usually negative, in your body. That is acidic, okay? That contributes to the levels of acidosis in your body. You have to get away from that because you have grief eating away at the self. So that is what cancer is from an emotional perspective. So I lovingly forgive and release all of the past. Let it go. What does it serve you? What does it serve you here today, in this moment, in this dispensation of time, and where you have to go? It doesn't. It doesn't. Not to minimize. You can't sit there forever. You can't sit there forever. You have to move on. You have to choose to fill your world with joy and love and approve of yourself. Stop looking for outside validation. Stop looking for outside validation. So that is what breast problems are, and that is what cancer is from an emotional perspective. So let's jump into tonight's topic, and that is breast cancer. And this is what I want to say about breast cancer. Breast cancer is not a breast problem. It is a lymphatic system problem. Did you hear me? I'm going to say that one more time. Breast cancer is not a breast problem. It is a lymphatic system problem, a systemic issue that is going on throughout your entire body. All right? And the other thing, let's just address this up front. Cancer runs in my family. My grandmother had it, my mother had it, my aunties had it, now I have it. Cancer does not run in families. Cancer is not genetic. The way that you eat, drink, breathe, what you put on your skin, how you handle your emotions is what runs in families. Cancer is not genetic. It's a disease, okay? You are not born with damaged cells. You may be born with a lot of acid in your lymphatic system, but you're not born with damaged cells. That happens over time as a result of the things that you consume, okay? So let's be clear, cancer is not genetic. It does not run in your family. How you eating runs in your family, all right? So there's the tumor side of cancer, which is when your body is working for you by taking itself, pulling water into fluid-filled sacs to try to cool off with what's burning up in whatever region of your body. And then there's degenerative cancer, and that's when you see people in your family have stuff and they pass down those genetic weaknesses, okay? But it's not a genetic issue. They pass down weaknesses, weak tissues, okay? Weak organs, weak glands, a very weak lymphatic system that's stagnant and full of mucus and acids and toxins. That's called degeneration. So if your mother had cancer at 30, you might see it at 20, all right? But it's not genetic. It's what you do that turns cancer on, that activates it, that makes it cancer. Think about HPV. We talked about this last week, which I don't understand how doctors can figure this out. They can look at your cells under a microscope and say, oh, you're going to have cervical cancer. This is pre-cancerous cells. These are squamous cells. But then once they turn cancerous, they don't understand how to tell you how to fix that. That baffles me. We'll never know. All right? So diseases are not genetically passed down, okay? We are eating way off from nature. We are eating way off from our nature. We are frugivores by nature, and we should be eating fruits, berries, and melons. All this other stuff that we cook and change the chemistry of and then put that into our body and expect our body to figure that out, that's a whole nother story. Okay? And that's why degeneration is at the high rate that it is. That is why obesity, like, y'all, I'm a very observant person in general, but I literally, everywhere I go, I feel like people are getting bigger and bigger, and it's an epidemic. And we're not doing anything to fix it. We'll save that story for another day, okay? So when you've been diagnosed with cancer, okay, all you're dealing with is damaged cells in the breast area. Cancer does not run in your family. It's your habits. It's what you eat, drink, breathe, put on your skin that determines your state of health. So your breast tissue is made up of a bunch of cells and two major fluids, which is blood and lymph. Whenever we have disease present, we're talking about the lymph side, the acid side of chemistry. Okay? The blood side is the base side and the alkaline side of the chemistry. So if we had issues going on in that blood, we wouldn't be living for very long if that blood system was affected. It's the lymphatic system. It's the system that takes out the trash. That's our waste that needs to be taken out of the body. But because of compromised organs and glands and our kidneys not filtering properly, it's backing up in the body. All right. So also, I want to let you guys know that eating red meat increases breast cancer by 25%. Other meats, about 15%. Why red meat, Nicole? Because red meat is the most highly acidic meat out there. More highly acidic, that and pork. More than chicken and more than seafood. All right? So, highly acidic. But let's talk about what allopathic medicine does when a breast cancer diagnosis is given. Okay, you have breast cancer, we're going to put you on radiation. Is that not the classic and common place or routine that happens when somebody is diagnosed with breast cancer? They put them on radiation. Radiation burns through your tissues. So while you're trying to radiate the breast, you hitting them lungs and everything else that's in that pathway, that's all getting burned on. Okay? So radiation damages a lot more cells than the ones that you so-called are trying to stop in its tracks from the cancer metastasizing or growing or moving. And that's that's another whole space that they try to put you in, to be this very ignorant being, thinking that cancer is just running rampant in your body and it's going to places and it's attacking it, and that's to keep you dumb. That's to keep you in fear, and that's to keep you afraid. All right, so radiation damages a lot more cells, okay? It usually gives the person lung cancer because it burns right through the tissues. Let's talk. Radiation does not address the problem. It doesn't address the issue at the root. All right? So this is my thing with allopathic medicine. They see what the radiation does. They have for years, okay? And they see what it does and how it damages people, and the likelihood of people who have breast cancer now having lung cancer from the radiation. Yet they still do it. That level of unconsciousness is scary to me, because you have got to be completely blind not to see what's going on. Like, how many situations do you need to see that happen? And then what's the next thing that they offer you? Oh, well, you don't really have that much longer to live because you now have lung cancer, but we need you to get chemotherapy. So we're going to give us more acid and burn the body more on top of the damage that you've already done, so that you can have your beach house and your Lexus and your whatever else? Because that's greed, people. Like, you have to be insane, and you have to know that you're killing people. You have to see how quickly, after you give this chemotherapy on top of this radiation, or vice versa, whichever way you do it, that it's killing people, killing mothers, leaving behind 4 and 5 children. Karma. That's all I'm going to say. It's karma. So lung cancer is almost a given whenever someone has done radiation. Almost always a given. Yet they continue to do it. Okay? So you'll see the person come in with breast cancer and they want to do it the allopathic medicine way. Then you'll see them calling you with breathing problems. I can't breathe. Yeah, your lungs are radiated. They've been fried. That's why you can't breathe. So now not only did you not address the issue with the breast, because that doesn't change anything. It didn't fix it. Because you didn't address the lymphatic system, which is at the root of breast cancer. All right? So the lymphatic system is backed up in the breast, and it is also backed up throughout the body. If I was to look in the eyes, I would see where else there's lymphatic stagnation at, which is usually all throughout the body. When you have it in your breast, it's usually all throughout the body, okay? Again, cancer is damaged cells. Radiation damages cells. Okay? So what should you be consuming? Once you find out that you have a breast cancer diagnosis, you got to put the cooked food down. You are adding more acid to your body, and you are going to contribute to your breast cancer, quote, spreading. You're going to contribute to you damaging more cells within your body. That's what you're going to do if you continue to eat cooked food. You need to go 100% raw. You need to be on fruits, berries, and melons. You need to be doing grape fast. You need to be doing lemon fast. You need to be alkalizing your body like nobody's business. Life or death. We don't have time to play around. All right? So, we also got to get herbs in there to get things moving, to open up the kidneys, to restore the adrenals so that they can trip up the kidneys to start filtering more and more sediment to get that acid out of your body, all right? If I were you, I would do a salad a day for a few weeks and then off of that, all right? Because vegetable matter does not do the body like fruit matter, okay? Fruit's gonna get in there and heal. I've seen many cases, heard other people's cases, studied with a doctor and saw his cases of how many people are like, oh, well, I've had breast cancer and I've had it for this amount of years. And for the last year, for the last 2 years, I was vegetarian. But for this last year, I've been vegan. I've been drinking carrot juice. I've been doing my celery juice. I've been doing my green drinks. That ain't gonna heal you. Vegetable matter, no shade to people who are plant-based. But when you are sick with cancer in your body, that is spreading, okay? When you're damaging more cells by what you're eating, vegetable matter is not going to cut it. You have to go all fruit. You have to go all berries, all melons. That's what's going to restore your body. That's what's going to heal you, period. Okay? So it's not a compromise. When I'm dealing with a cancer patient, you're going all raw. If you don't want to do my program, then I'm not going to work with you because I know what the final ending is going to look like if you continue to put cooked food in your body, period. When you think about the stories and the articles that you've read and the people who have brought themselves back from stage 4 cancer, back to healed, they went all raw. You have to go all raw. You have to release this concept that you need meat for protein. That's a protein myth. That you need to be eating all your vegetables. That's also a myth. You need to go all fruit. That is the highest vibrational food on the planet. That is what's going to help you heal your body faster. And it's going to help you while you're taking your herbs because you're alkalizing and neutralizing your body with high water content fruit. We've seen people cure themselves in 60 days or less, 6 months or less, 1 year or less by going on the highly astringent grapes and lemons. Okay? If you want to choose radiation and chemo over that, free will. Enjoy your ride. Enjoy the burn because that is what you're going to be doing to yourself. And again, I said this is a very sensitive topic because we either know someone who is dying of breast cancer or we've had a loved one die to breast cancer. So it's hard to hear when you're like, just that simple. It could have been, it really is that simple. We have to make the conditions for the body work for and with us. But if we continue to eat our steak, if we continue to drink our dairy and eat our cheese and drink our liquor and our wine and our alcohol and smoke our weed and smoke our cigarettes and whatever else is dehydrating your body, you are making it a breeding ground for dis-ease. You are weakening your tissues and your cells and making them a place for disease to come in and run rampant. So you choose. How are you going to participate now that you know? Because it's up to you at the end of the day. Nobody can spoon feed you. Nobody can juice those grapes for you. Nobody can tell you what to get when you're at the grocery store. You have to have the will not to pick it up when you're there. You have to say, I want to live more than I want to die. All right? So we have to address that lymphatic system. All right? It's an accumulation of waste products that has to go. Herbs helps to fix things and get things moving and fix the problems. Vegetable juice cannot remove tumors. It cannot. Seen it time and time again. It cannot. You need fruit for deeper work. That's the deeper detoxification. You're getting the water that you need. You're getting the vitamins that you need. You're getting the minerals and the trace minerals that you need. Your body pulls that out of the fruit. All fruit have amino acids. That is your protein. Stop looking for protein supplements. Stop eating protein bars. Stop putting protein powder in your shake. Oh, it's a plant-based. Peas are starchy. They're starch. That's part of what shuts down your kidneys. Okay? That's part of why you have fibrocystic breasts, because you're eating the wrong things. You're stagnating your lymphatic system, and it's backed up now into your breast. We're going to talk about what else does that. Antiperspirants. My friend Suzanne, if she's still on here, shared the other day a post of a back of the container of deodorant and all of its mess and chemicals. And I'm not sure if that one said it, but there's a lot of antiperspirants that say if you are on dialysis, if you have kidney disease, don't you use our product. Why? Because they know that you can't filter that aluminum out because you're depending on dialysis to clean your blood. So if they can't use it, nobody should be using it, because if a dialysis patient or someone in renal failure cannot use an antiperspirant because of the aluminum, we're going to be next. What does aluminum do? It suppresses. It stops you from sweating. So it's suppressing your toxins. Think about your armpit. Your lymphatic system runs from your armpit down into your breast. Go look at a picture that they show you of a woman that is breastfeeding, and it's showing you like it's the tree of life. All of that is your lymphatic system. And when you put on an antiperspirant and stop yourself from sweating, releasing those toxins out of your body, especially those proteins that you're eating from dead, rotting, decomposing flesh, that carcass that stinks, that makes you have stinky underarms, stinky crotch or vaginal odor, ladies, stinky feet, stinky, smelly scalp, because it's backing all the way up into your body, smelly breath, halitosis, because it's coming, your mouth is an extension of your GI tract that goes from your mouth to your anus and that colon in between. Yeah, that. We are contributing to that. We play a part in why we smell. So when you put on an antiperspirant, you are suppressing the toxins that need to be released because you're stopping yourself from sweating. So you're causing the lymphatic system to be stagnant in that area. You're causing things to back on up. That's another one that's causing breast cancer. Because now your lymphatic system is backed up as a result of what you're using for deodorant. Okay? Antiperspirants suppress the toxins in that area, causing the lymphatic fluids in the lymphatic system to back up. When you can't filter, you can't shrink tumors. Okay? So that speaks. Anissa just told y'all. So aluminum is linked back to breast cancer and Alzheimer's. It suppresses. It causes your lymphatic system to be stagnant. All right? And I said in the beginning of this video, we ain't going there with Susan because she's dead and gone, and she's still collecting a nice coin talking about she looking for the cure. We've found it. Hello, public service announcement. Correct your lymphatic system. Stop eating the crap that you're eating. Detoxify your body. Open up your kidneys. Work to fix your adrenal glands that are the brains of your kidneys. Once you turn them on, they will trick the kidneys to begin to filter the uric acid that has been backing up in your body for years. That is why you're sick. That's why you got your high blood pressure. That's why you have this diabetes. That's why you got this chronic joint pain, because you got acidic joints, because acid is floating all throughout your body. And then when it's locked in, because it's burned up everything and all of your eliminative organs are functioning poorly, now you have lupus. Now you have Lyme. Now you have fibromyalgia. Now you have rheumatoid arthritis and everything else in between that they call an autoimmune disease. Now you're seeing eczema pop up. Because why? Because the acid has to leave your body through the skin, because it can't leave through anywhere else. Everything else is down. You gotta clean out your GI tract. You have to clean up that colon. You gotta get the lymph moving. That's a systemic issue at the root of breast cancer and everything else. Okay? Period. So, the other thing I want to talk about is mammography versus thermography. When you getting that breast smashed in the mammogram, because they scare you. Oh, you turning 40 years. What is the age? I don't follow the mess. You turning such and such years old. It's time to get your mammogram. It's time to smash your breast and radiate it to death, which is going to give you cancer. Hello, people. Let's wake up. Let's ask questions the way we ask the naturopath, because we don't do that to our doctors. We just take their word from it, and they're the ones killing us every single day and getting away with murder. So, mammography. Don't get no mammograms. Go and pull up the dangers of mammograms or mammography. Go look it up. Stop waiting on Monday night. Stop waiting for other people to give you information. Go and look for it for yourself. Don't take anything that I tell you at face value. Go do the research like I did. That's the reason why I'm on the walk that I'm on, because I came into spirituality because I was like, that ain't true. My friend that's on here, Neff, sent me some stuff. I said, hold up, wait a minute. I feel bamboozled. What you talking about? I dug. I did my own research. She continued to feed me stuff. She continued to give me resources so that I could come into the knowing for myself. She understood that I had to detox my mind, that I had to unprogram this mind, unlearn and relearn some things, right? So the same thing when I study what I study when it relates to me coming to you before, I come before you anytime. I've studied what I've studied. I'm a Virgo. So when we come before you, we know our sugar, honey, iced tea. You ain't going to catch us out there slipping. That's just who we are. All right? So I'm going to understand what's going on before I come and speak about it to you. So go with thermography. Okay? See if your insurance covers it. Most of the time, it doesn't cover the things that you need it to cover. Why do you think that your insurance doesn't cover the chiropractor? Because they know you're going to get healed. They know that when you get adjusted, and I only deal in upper cervical chiropractors that are going to adjust your top two vertebrae, C1 and C2, because the rest of your spine has to line up. And your fluids. My son had severe eczema. I was feeding him right. I was doing all of the things. It wasn't until I got him adjusted and got his lymphatic system fluids flowing properly, everything was in alignment, that he was healed. Did the insurance cover that? Hell no. I had to pay for it out of my pocket. They're not going to cover anything that's going to heal you. You taken away from their beach house. They new Lexus that they want to drive. Whatever the next greedy big toy that they want to put out there on the road. And that's no shade to doctors, but they get paid off of your prescriptions. They get paid when you do chemotherapy. They don't care that you're going to die. They've seen 1 million people die from it, and they're still doing it. But that's their karma that they have to pay. It's sick. It's sick to me. I don't know how they can sleep at night knowing. Even that doctor in Ohio, I think that's where he was from, that was lying to people and telling them that they had cancer, knowing that they didn't, giving them chemotherapy and killing them. People were dead and had no cancer in the first place. Chemotherapy is acid, people. You would rather knowingly burn yourself because you're in fear. They don't even give you enough. You have a cancer diagnosis, we're going to schedule your chemotherapy, your first chemotherapy session and then the next thing you know, you looked up, you've had your first session and you're bald headed because the acid has gotten to all the way through your body up into your scalp and done burned your damn follicles up. Crazy. Yes, Anissa, third homes and exotic vacations. Nefertiti says, a doctor told her that to her face, do it or not, I will still get paid. They don't care about people. Just saying. So make sure you're getting thermography. Go look it up. Here we go. So Joe says, I had a mammogram in March of 2014. They said I was good. In July, I found a lump on my own breast by doing a self-breast exam. It was there in March. They claimed the machine smashed on top of it so it wasn't visible. No, ma'am. They smashed it. The radiation brought it to fruition. Crazy. Angela says, why does the hair grow back gray after chemo? Because chemo is acid. Acid turns hair gray. That's why I tell people, when I help people who are balding, who are thinning, who are graying, clean out this head cavity, their hair grows back in the color that it was. You have to drain the lymphatic system that's stagnant in here. You have to take all of that acid that is corrosive. It's the acid that grows their hair back. Because that's all chemotherapy is acid. So that's why it's gray. Acid, acid, acid. Share this live. You never know who's out there suffering. Share this live. Tell people to watch this replay. Because there are so many people dying of cancer because we view it as a death sentence in this country. That is why people who get cancer diagnoses and they're like, no thank you on your radiation, no thank you on your chemo, I'm going to go over here to Mexico, I'm going to go over here to this country or that country. That's because those countries do not look at cancer as a death sentence. Watch The Truth About Cancer with Ty and Charlene. It's on YouTube. Go to their website, buy the DVD series. They're the same people that did The Truth About Vaccines. We have to get in the know, people. We have to stop watching Love and Hip Hop, Housewives of Atlanta, and all the other bullshit, because that's what it is, excuse me, and get in the know about the things that really matter. We have to start giving our attention and our energy to things that really matter. That is frivolous BS. Understanding the truth about cancer, they were tired of losing their loved ones. And they said there has to be something to this. And they figured it out. And they interviewed doctors, and they interviewed more doctors, and they interviewed people from other countries. And the information, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. I've seen it more than once. Like, I watch it and I'm like, I don't even remember them saying that the last time. That is deep. Big Pharma. So we got to detox our bodies, people. We have to detox our bodies. It is the only true and logical way to healing. Even those of you who give up your meat and say you're vegan or say you're mostly vegan, you still have to detox the crap out in order for the fresh, the new, the vital to come in and take effect. It can't take effect with the gunk still there. It can't take effect if your colon has this much built up on each side of its walls and you're malabsorbed and you're not even absorbing the nutrients from your food. Some people get so malabsorbed that if they eat an apple, they poop an apple. Nothing happened. No digestive enzymes, didn't break anything out. What went in came out. You're in bad shape when you're in that position. Bad shape. Can you be restored? Absolutely. You got to give up your cooked foods. You got to get on herbs. You have to go 100% raw, and you don't have to do it by yourself. Okay, that's what I'm here for. That is what I'm helping people do and see and realize. Thank you for all of you who congratulated my client, that post that I put out today talking about trouble conceiving and infertility and delay not being denial, and standing in your truth and visualizing and praying and manifesting and believing for what it is that you want, and watch it manifest. Watch it manifest. And I'm grateful for the women who saw that and reached out. Stop suffering in silence. Stop thinking you have to do everything alone. These doctors have not given you answers. None of them. We want to take your tube out. It's blocked with fluid. Can we just get rid of the fluid? Why are you taking fallopian tubes out like they're damn French fries? Oh, that was just a bad French fry that got burnt. Let's talk. No. This is what people need to conceive. This is modern day genocide, people. You are the decision maker over your body. At the end of the day, you have the final say. I pissed my son's pediatrician off. I paid her $1,000 out of my pocket. She told me my son was going to go to hematology oncology. I said, ma'am, he does not have cancer. What cancer does he have? Show me the symptoms that he has. Now, I didn't know back then. He had lymph nodes that were swollen everywhere. His lymphatic system was backed up. Oh, feel right here and feel right here and do this right here and do this. Thermography. The alternative to mammograms is thermograms. So, listen, that's my license. I said, and this is my damn son. And if anything happens to him, because you sending me over here to your friends that's going to try to push chemo and pump chemo in his body, the hell to the no. We ain't doing another test. I paid you because you're an integrative pediatrician. You sending me back over here to allopathy because she was still allopathic. No. And I made the decision between that route, harassing me to make an appointment, calling me every day. Oh, you have to make an appointment or else what? What you gonna do to me? You ain't gonna do nothing to me. I'm not making an appointment. Period. We're going to a chiropractor. Thanks. And she follows my page. And I know she's seen my son. Stand in your truth. Walk in your power. You are your child's biggest advocate. Not even CMS. I will homeschool before you try to force vaccines on my child. Not going to happen. Not on my watch. I just watched a video today that a friend sent me of a father who was showing video footage of how vibrant his daughter was and this and this and that. And in order to get in daycare, she had to have the shot or they weren't going to do it. They did it. The baby is having thousands of seizures a day and has been for the last few years. And he knew it ran, he claims it ran in his family, but what ran in the family is a degenerative issue in the head cavity, in the brain, with acid. And when she got that mercury ethanol pumped into her body, immediately, seizures, immediately, and she's still having them because he didn't stand in his truth, and he's regretting that because he knew. For the sake of daycare, hell no. Go somewhere else, figure it out. But I will not inoculate my baby with poison to fit into somebody's damn system. That we're not going to do. And I had to tell her that. I said, and I know we only seen you, we had 5 appointments and we only seen you twice. You can keep the money. It doesn't even matter because I'll get that tenfold. And I have, and my baby's healed. And that is priceless. Priceless. When nobody could give me answers, I went and found the answers. Because I smell bullshit a mile away. That doesn't even make logical sense. We're not doing that. So don't let anybody bully you into anything. You ain't going to bully me into making no appointment. You're not going to bully me into going to hematology, oncology. He doesn't have cancer, but they would have created it. His body was highly acidic. His kidneys were shut down. His adrenals were severely weak. His lymphatic system was backed up. That's why his lymph nodes were swollen. But my God, when we got that upper cervical chiropractic care, within 2 months, my baby was healed. He looked completely different. He was leaving skin rings around the tub. He couldn't wear regular clothes. He had to be zipped up all day because he would dig and scratch and bleed. We didn't sleep for almost 2 years. And you think I'm going to go to your cancer ward? No. Not over here. This is why you have to be informed. Because when you are informed, you can make an informed decision. You don't get scared into anything. You don't get bullied into anything. You don't get told no. I have my other client who's having twins. Her doctor told her what he gonna do after she delivered. You're gonna get this certain shot administered because if you don't, you're gonna bleed out. Sir, you don't know that. Is she bleeding? And her doula had to tell her, you have the right to say no. It don't matter what he says. You have the right to say no. Now, if you start bleeding out and they need to administer it then they could do it. But we're not going to do it just because. You just add into the birth bill. Your first baby can't have a lotus birth because we got to get to the second one, but the second baby can't. What? Listen, don't let people tell you what you can and can't do. You birth the way you want to birth. If they can't agree with it, you better figure it out. Go find somebody else. Don't you settle. Because then you're birthing according to how somebody else wants you to birth. So, upper cervical chiropractor changed my life. I gotta find our video. Me and RJ did a video. This was like 3 years ago. I have to find it. I don't even know where it is. But it was life-changing. Okay? It was life-changing. After his first adjustment, he slept for like 6 hours straight. And when he woke up, he was just different. And immediately we could start to see results. But 2 months almost to the date, because when he got his first, adjustment, I want to say it was like 2 or 3 days after his birthday. And then it was my anniversary that we were on the beach and we took pictures. So in May, the first week in May, and I was like, oh my God, look at his skin. Look where he was in February and look where he is today.